Good morning, the sun is shining in the sky here outside Newcastle under Lyme Test Centre, and that is not to be confused with Newcastle upon Tyne, because that is about 4 miles in that direction, so don't confuse that. After many requests, we are finally doing the perfect drive on a Newcastle under Lyme driving test route, and I use that word very loosely, perfect drive, because after all, I am only human. If you do spot me making a mistake during this video, get it in the comments below, because nobody loves anything more than a driving instructor making a mistake. So I'm not going to be looking at the camera the whole time, because I'm going to be trying to focus on driving correctly for you guys so you can get it right on your driving tests as well. I am going to be doing one of the latest test routes that my student has just done their driving test on. So let's get to it. If this has helped, do not forget to like and subscribe. Never forget to like and subscribe. So first thing we do, quick look around, 6-point check, make sure it's nice and clear. Get a gentle bite, and I'm leaving the car park. Okay, so this is where the driving test would begin from. We've just gone past the driving test centre. This is where the test exits onto the A34. There's 2 main exits from the driving test centre. If you go on the other road, however, you can either go left or you can go right. This being a dual carriageway, you can only go left. Only ever had one student ask the examiner which way to go on the dual carriageway. Needless to say, that test didn't go very well. So if we keep an eye on the sat-nav, I'm going to know that I'm going to need to turn right in 2 junctions time. At the top of the sat-nav it says, turn right down so-and-so road. So throughout this driving test, I'm constantly going to be checking that central mirror, especially down any dual carriageways. I need to know what's going on around me. I also know that I'm going to need to be turning right, because the sat-nav is showing me that I'm going to need to turn right, which means I need to build that picture of what's going on behind me. I now know it's very clear behind me, so this would be a good opportunity to change lanes. So I'm checking my central mirror, right mirror, shoulder check, pop that signal on, and I'm gently, very gently moving it across. And I explain this that if you've got a passenger and they close their eyes, they shouldn't really be able to tell that you are changing lanes. That's how gentle it should be when you're trying to change lanes. Now these lights here, checking central mirror, right mirror signaling, these are filter lights. And as you can see, underneath the traffic light, there is actually an arrow specifying which light is for the right turn and which light is for straight on. So as you can see, the lights have just changed now. That's a filter light for only going straight on, not to be confused with trying to turn right. Space in front with the car, always tarmac and tyres. Reason being, in case an ambulance or something like that comes, or the car breaks down, if that Subaru breaks down, if I'm right up his backside and someone's right up my backside, there's no way I'm going to be able to get out. So tarmac and tyres is always best. It's also, when you're actually driving away, it's a lot more comfortable to drive away when you're not too close to someone. You know, you're not quite so pressured and how you drive away, because you're not too close. If I at any point struggle to multitask, it is because, alas, I am just a man and I am terrible at multitasking. So please be forgiving. This road down here can get very, very busy with cars parked on the right side. There is also a test route that comes back down this way. So you've got, so the main important thing is probably doing about 20 to 22 miles an hour, somewhere around there, depending on how busy it is. At the moment I'm doing 25, and it's comfortable because there's no one there. This guy's now here, so I'm just easing off the gas. She's turning. I've checked my mirrors before going around these cars, and I'm now comfortably keeping a door's width from my cars on the left. Check my mirrors and move back across. Central lane positioning, and we're heading to the crossroads, and then we are turning right. the old driving instructor wave. So central mirror, right mirror, signal, lights are red, braking nice and early, so it's nice and smooth, no kangarooing, and the car should just gently almost want to stop on its own if we weren't going downhill. This Subaru is also turning right, so we're going to follow them. There is no one ahead. If there was anyone, there is someone ahead now, but I have time to turn, I have space to turn before they get here. But if there was someone waiting at those lights to go straight on, I would need to wait in the middle. If the lights are green on a crossroads, you always wait in the middle, not behind the green light, otherwise that will be a test fail. And you wait in the middle until the oncoming traffic is either gone or there is space for you to go. Here we've got filter lanes. You've got your right lane for turning right, your protected lane there, and the left lane for going straight on. Okay, the Subaru, as you saw in plenty of time, he was signalling. Check the central mirror and just start braking nice and early, keeping that gap behind him. Because we're not in a rush. We've got nowhere to be. Actually, I have got a driving test in half an hour. I've got to pick someone up, so a little bit of a rush. But hey ho, what you do for YouTube. Constantly checking those mirrors, constantly checking that central mirror. Really, really important. This is obviously another dual carriageway, so I'm just central lane positioning. There's parked cars all down there, so whatever you do, make sure you keep the doors width from parked cars, if at all possible, at all times. If it's not possible, such as a terrace road with cars parked down both sides, make sure you are super slow. We're turning left at the roundabout, so we pop the signal on. I'm not going to the parked cars area, but I am just making sure that the mirrors were clear, there was no car there. Keeping a nice position to that left curb, following the road up. Now I'm going to be honest with you, ladies and gents, this gets a little bit grimy around here. Excuse the phrase, but there's not really another word for it. It's not a particularly nice area to drive in, especially if you're not used to it. So if you do have a driving test in Newcastle, I really recommend that you practice round pencil on this particular area. So that was a area for parked cars. There were no parked cars there. I was almost tempted to go around, but there were no parked cars there, so they're absolutely fine driving through that area there. Was that a minor there? Did I have it in the wrong gear? You will have to decide. Parked cars here, checking central mirror, right mirror, assessing is there space for two cars. There's no one actually coming, so that's fine, but you've still got to be mentally thinking about that. Picking up on the roundabout sign ahead, sat nav wants me to turn left, central mirror, left mirror, pop that signal on. I've eased off the gas, I'm not pressing any pedals at the moment. It's nice and clear, so I carry on. What do you look for when you get to a roundabout? As you're approaching any roundabout or junction, there's one thing you're looking for. What is it? Do not say cars. You better not have said cars. No, not cars. You are looking for space. Space and only space. It's really important you get that across in your mind, because when you start looking for space instead of cars, thought the bus was going to fall out on me, but he changed his mind. When you start looking for space instead of cars, your brain will switch over, and it's a lot easier. Your judgment, you'll find your judgment is a lot better when you just change that mentality from looking for cars to space. Your brain doesn't start panicking when you don't see a car or freezing up instead, and it doesn't stop panicking and freezing up when you see a car. Instead, it just reacts accordingly, looking for space. Oh, it's time to go, sort of thing. There's me trying to multitask again. So we've got a nasty hill here. Good idea to just drop it to second. Loads of parked cars. Second gear is going to reduce the engine speed, help engine brake down the hill. It's a right turn here. I checked my mirrors. There's loads of parked cars down here. My speed is down to 14 miles per hour. I'm staying on the right side of the road because there's loads of parked cars and there's no one coming ahead. There's no point hugging the cars. Nothing can squeeze past. Hug the curb. There's a car coming now, so I'm moving back across. Cat there. Don't run the cat over. Go on, kitty, get back over there. There we go. Central mirror, left mirror, signal because I'm turning left down here. Nobody likes this big hill, okay? I can't really see it. Okay, it's not that comfortable, I'll give them that. But basically, important thing, stay in second gear, keeps the engine speed, keeps the engine braking at the same time as just holding the brake gently. I'm holding it a steady 18, 17 miles an hour. Parked cars on both sides. Straight down the centre of the road as there's nothing coming at all, and you just want to keep that even distance on both sides. End of the road, I'm turning left. This parked car on the end is is always here. Really important that we get round that car and get back onto our side of the road before we get to the junction. Really important. If you don't do that, not going to be good. Then catching that curb on the corner there, very common. Everyone seems to catch that curb there, so do be aware of that. A little bit of practice on that junction. Right, so this is a good one here. I say a good one. The amount of people that fail on this junction, there's a give way sign here, but because it's so over signposted, everyone misses it. And the important thing is you look right here. This guy is signalling, so I'm going to continue on. That's all you've got to do. As long as you look right, you won't fail your driving test at that junction. But the amount of people that don't look right causes an instant fail, and that's the end of that. £140 wasted. I say 140 if you're wondering, because £70 at least for the test, and then normally you're going to pay your driving instructor 2 hours, and around here it's approximately £30 to £35 per hour. So just gently following around, checking the mirrors. There's often a car parked on that corner back there. Now there are 2 lanes to go round, but because there's 2 lanes, there's often another car in the other lane, so it's really important that you're aware of your mirrors again, so you know if there's going to be a car parked, a car driving next to you, and that'll decide as to whether or not you can just gently ease round the car, or whether you're going to have to wait for the person in the other lane to move across, and just basically use your common sense. The only way you can do that is if you're keeping an eye on those mirrors. Really, really important. That's probably the biggest issue around Stoke, is not being aware of what's going on. Probably trying to go too fast as well. Missing signposts. There's another famous give way sign in Stoke-on-Trent that everyone loves to miss. So big hill here, going up happily in 3rd gear. Parked cars on the left again. There's plenty of room on my left there, making sure my door's width, but also I'm not too close to that line on the right side either. Just basically a nice central position between the car and the line. Again, it gets a bit tighter here, so I've just eased up the gas down to 25. I'm still on my side of the white line, but I've got a door's width to the cars. And the lane widens out here a little bit. Then we can notice hazard ahead, parked car, central mirror, right mirror, easing across ever so slightly. Oh, nicely done, Josh, nicely done. And we continue on down here. Vans parked, central mirror, right mirror, that's simple. See how quickly I glance? Boom, boom, done. Yeah, 1, 2, done. Doesn't have to be a big stare. The examiner's going to know if you're checking your mirrors or not. They're going to know straight away whether or not you can drive confidently, sensibly. You don't need to pretend. It's about effective observation. Okay, so we have a red light, so braking already, no need, because the lights have just changed. My lucky day. Some days you just get a green light day, some days you get a red light day. You know, green light, red light. So, steady 30 miles an hour. How do I know this? There's no signposts anywhere. Well, we have street lights. There may have been a signpost, but I missed it because I'm talking to you. I'm not paying attention. So I missed it, but there are street lights, and we know the rule from the previous video that is on the screen right now. If you don't know the speed limit, make sure you check for street lights. Street lights equals 30 until you see a speed sign. No speed sign, no street lights is national speed limit generally. However, see the filter lights there, be aware of the filter lights. There's this lady going. I've got your back, don't worry. However, do be aware if you're in a city such as London, there may very well be lots of 20-mile-an-hour zones, in which case the although the street light sign is, although the street lights are a useful indicator, they're not as effective in areas such as London. You've just got to be basically more aware of the 20 speed areas, because they negate the whole system. Stupid London. Okay, now we are heading into the beautiful Newcastle under Lyme, which, as I say, is approximately, if I'm correct, 3 or 4 hours from Newcastle upon Tyne. So I probably could have braked a little bit earlier there. What do you think? Do you think I broke a bit late there? Was that a minor, or was that just fair? I'm not putting it into I'm putting it into first gear, but I'm not using the handbrake. Reason being, I'm going downhill. There's no need. I'm not rolling anywhere. I'm not going to roll anywhere. There's no need at all. If I was on a hill, going uphill, then I definitely would advise using the handbrake. Okay, we have a giveaway sign on both sides there, not to be missed. Then we also have 2 lanes. So I'm moving into the left lane. Why? Because the left is best. Left is always best. He's signalling, they're all signalling, so I am continuing on. If they weren't signalling, they can carry on around there in either lane, and that is really important to be aware of. This bus is pulling over on the left, I'm guessing, from the signal, so I've moved into the central lane. After the bus, central mirror, left mirror, signal. That is something that I've not actually seen before, so that's important. The buses pull over there. I can imagine if you were a learner and that bus pulled over there, you would have sat behind it and possibly frozen up a little bit. Did that in second. Was that a minor? Ooh, I don't think so, because it wasn't an issue. I didn't stall, did I? So, I know that the sat-nav is taking me right on this next roundabout. This is a juicy roundabout. He's turning, and I'm going to need the right lane because I'm turning right on the roundabout. So checked my mirrors, checked my blind spot with a cheeky signal, just to let people know behind me that I am changing lanes, nice, safely and gently. We're following signs for Ring Road, roundabout sign there, central mirror, right mirror, pop that beautiful signal on. Let's go. Into second gear, clutch back up to encourage the engine braking. I don't care what anyone says, I think engine braking is absolutely brilliant, particularly in a diesel. Maybe it's more effective because I'm in a diesel. Maybe in a petrol car, it's not as effective. But I think the diesels are just a bit more friendly in the amount you can do in a gear. So there's no one coming there, so I'm going to go. My signal's gone off, so I'm popping that signal back on. I'm coming off in the left lane, central mirror, left mirror signal. And I'm moving across into the left lane. And we're coming to the next roundabout. We take the first exit left. Central mirror, left mirror, pop that beautiful signal on. And I'm looking for space. There is a car there, so I'm slowing down, rolling into first. And there is now space, so I'm continuing on. And this is a bit grimy around this corner here. If you go too fast, there's 2 lanes, they're very, very tight, and a zebra crossing. If it's a busy time, when I say a busy time, it can be any lunchtime, any time when there's bound to be people walking around town, Saturday, Sunday, anything like that, it's going to be commonly people on the zebra crossing. So do be aware of that. If you come around that corner too fast, it's going to be a rough stop for you. Now do bear in mind also, on this driving test, you will be asked to pull over at least 3 times. 3 times you'll be asked to pull over, minimum. If you haven't been doing something quite right, you'll probably be asked to pull over even more than that. But the minimum is going to be 3 times. One of those is likely to be on a hill, so make sure you have that handbrake handy for when it is. And you will also be expected to do a manoeuvre. That could be the parallel park, that could be a forward bay park, that could be a reverse bay park, or that could be the pull over on the right. What is the speed here? There are no speed signs. Go on, tell me what the speed is. You've got it 30 miles per hour because we have street lights. But there is a cyclist having a little chat in the road, so we'll check the mirrors. See, he's made it more interesting. Thank you, Mr. Cyclist. And then we're coming to a roundabout ahead, and we are going to take the first exit left, because that is where Sally the sat-nav wants us to go. So central mirror, left mirror, pop that signal on. Clutch down with a bit of braking, into second gear, clutch coming back up for a bit of engine braking. Love the engine braking. Bit of more braking, there are cars coming, it's not clear. Rolled into first, to the line, keeping that positioning nice and tight to the left. Because a lot of people do like to use this as a second lane if they're going straight on or turning right. Nice bit of space to the car in front, got a bit of follow distance. No point getting right up the backside at all. You see there's a hazard ahead, there's a lorry, so everyone's going to have to go around. If the car comes this way, I know that we're going to have to stop, so I'm not getting excited on that gas at all. I can't see because there's so many cars at the moment. I still can't see, and there is a car coming, so I'm waiting here. Just over the side of the line, so the car on the other side has got plenty of room. But I'm also showing my positioning that I would like to go round and to the cars behind me, and I'm also able to see around the lorry far better. See, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to multitask. It's good practice. Oh, he's turning right, so lots of red lights coming on, everyone's slowing down, dropping it down to second gear, now straight into first gear here. Keeping an eye on those central mirror and a bit of that right mirror as well. But more the central mirror is key. If you keep an eye on that central mirror, it's just building that picture behind you constantly. It makes driving so much easier. And that doesn't mean get obsessed with someone if they're right up your backside at all. In fact, you do the opposite. If someone's up your backside, pretty much try and ignore them. It's good to be aware that they're there, but then just blank them out, because otherwise it will just stress you out. You don't need that. They can't actually do anything to you. They can't make you go any faster. You've got to just try and blank them out at that point. Luckily it's few and far between. Okay, you can get a bit of a hazard down here on the left sometimes. By this roundabout sign, sometimes there's a car parked on the road. Not here today, but if there is a meeting traffic situation, I would just wait. I wouldn't try and overtake the car if another car is coming. Okay, roundabout following the road ahead, second exit. It's 40 signs we've just seen. It is looking busy, so we're rolling into first. It is clear after this car. There's space, if you like space, round the outside of the roundabout. Checking central left mirror, popping that signal on. Oh, nicely done. Hugging that left curve, here we go. And to be honest, boys and girls, we are home, James. Okay, test centre is just round the corner. We are more or less on the home stretch, but the last thing we do is lose focus at this point. Because if I know an examiner, and I think I know them okay, they will ask me to start pulling over somewhere down here. Okay, and this is not a good time to not forget. This is not a good time to forget checking your blind spot, okay, or starting to lose focus at all, because we're not on the home stretch yet. That's the guy I trained with. Got to give him a little wave. So yeah, so really important. Anywhere down here you could be asked to pull over. Do not lose focus at this point. However, I would like you to tell me, did I pass or fail that driving test? What are your thoughts? What would you rate it? Central mirror, left mirror, signal left. Park cars here, it's not wide enough for two cars. Rolled it into first, checked the mirrors, going around nicely. Beautifully done. And there is the driving test centre right there on your right. There you go, you saw it. So just going just past there, we're going to pop back to the Chinese restaurant, because I love Chinese. Who doesn't love Chinese? We're going to pull up in there. Looking behind me, because that is the golden rule with reversing. Make sure that you look behind you, because if you don't, you're gonna fail, and you'll be really sad that you failed. So look behind you when reversing. Beautiful. Well done, boys and girls. We have done the Newcastle under Lyme perfect driving test. No, maybe not perfect. Have a look, tell me what you think. Tell me if you think there was any mistakes in there, and tell me what you think. What do you think of the new test route? I think that's coming across quite tough, but there is no A500 dual carriageway involved, you know, the motorway style dual carriageway. So some people may very well like it. What are your thoughts? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all very soon.